What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we have even more Nintendo Switch 2 leaks to cover for you today. And of course, guys, if you like my type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam. Hit that join channel member button below. So let's dive right into things over here. And this is going to come from Fammy Boards. Now, Fammy Boards is a pretty popular forum site, and there is actually some future Nintendo hardware leaks here. So this member right here, LIC, was able to confirm a special Nintendo to NVIDIA shipment. Now, of course, the NVIDIA cards are gonna be in the next Switch console, and of course, these two companies are gonna be sending each other pieces of technology. But from the shipment leaks that are pretty much public information, this dude was able to figure out that the console has 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now, that's really exciting for us because the Xbox Series, as a current gen console, even though an incredibly weak current gen console, has 10 gigs of RAM. So it's not gonna be like the most terribly weak thing ever when the Switch 2 comes out. It will still be weaker than a PS5 and Xbox Series X, no doubt, but it is gonna be a significant jump up in power for the Nintendo console. Now, it's gonna have two 6 gigabyte 7500 LPDDR modules, which is the RAM there. So that is good that it is, you know, two different 6 gigs of RAM instead of one. So I can do dual processing, which is actually going to be really nice. The internal storage of it is going to be 256 gigabytes as well. Now, this is absolutely massive. 256 gigs is pretty huge, and it's going to be UFS 3.1. So it's going to be quite fast on internal storage. Now, the current Switch only has 32 gigs, which is absolutely abysmal. You fill that up so quick, and there's so many games you can't even put on that. So it's nice that we're gonna actually have 256 gigabytes. Pretty easy, pretty awesome. I'm happy they're like up to a 2025 standard at this point when the console actually does come out. But that is great news for us because now you don't have to buy an SD card. I definitely will be buying a 1 terabyte SD card, but that is going to be overall great news in general. So another thing that Centro picked up from that long thread, because there's so many pages from that Fammy board forum, seems like the console will include a built-in microphone and maybe in the controllers. We don't know. It built-in microphone. They had one on the DS. I feel like DSi, 3DS had a built-in microphone. So it wouldn't be a surprise if they go back to something like that, especially for portable. I do think it'll be built into it more the console than the controller. I mean, the controller would make a lot of sense if you're doing like couch gaming, but I also don't know how they see the console as a home console or as a portable console. It's probably going to be more likely built into the controller, similar to how the PS5 DualShocks, they have the controller has a mic in the middle of it, so you can actually use it to play games against each other. But if there is a built-in microphone, that means there is going to be online voice chat on Nintendo Switch, which we do not have. You know, if you've ever played on Switch, you have to use like a voice app to like actually talk to someone via the Switch, and no one does that. Everyone uses Discord, and honestly, I think everyone's still gonna use Discord, but it is, you know, at least they're gonna come up to be more modern. It does take Nintendo for some reason so long to be comparable to its competitors when it comes to online services, but I do think that is very interesting. Now, they do have DLSS as well support. So the PS5 and the Xbox Series X currently do not have DLSS. If you don't know what DLSS is, it's relatively recently new in the past couple of years technology. It's only for NVIDIA cards, but it's essentially using like AI deep learning to like make your images of the games like run better, essentially sort of upscales it using AI, so the frame rate gets boosted, the graphics get boosted, even if the hardware isn't actually up to snuff to run it natively. DLSS is sort of like a crutch, which is going to be really nice, especially to see a console use it for the first time. It's such a powerful thing, especially if you have a 4000 series graphics card, so I highly recommend like getting one of those if you have a PC, because DLSS is really awesome. But that's why it's sort of hard to compare to current consoles, because, you know, we don't know how well the games are going to look on this. I mean, we have 12 gigs of RAM, but, you know, now we have this new technology that the other two major console companies don't really have. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what we actually get on that. Now, according to the specs that were leaked, the console image in the middle here is a mock-up of what the Switch 2 size might look like. And this is comparing it to the Nintendo Switch OLED on the top, and then this is the Steam Deck on the bottom. Now, if you've ever held a Steam Deck, this thing is big and bulky for sure. And I mean, it is absolutely a handheld, but it's definitely a handheld that you want to bring like its own case with and all that. And it's not that thin. Now, if the Switch 2 is very similar to the Nintendo Switch 1 here, and it has that thin form factor, then this is going to be absolutely great. But you can notice how it is a few inches bigger. We reported the screen, I believe, was going to be like 2 or 3 more inches bigger than the OLED screen. So that is going to be really nice for portable gamers in general. But obviously, we don't know everything what's going on here. I mean, it looks like all the buttons are the same and things like that. So it's only really showing off the screen size here and difference. Now, lastly, there is one more Nintendo Switch 2 update. And this is from the source named Brazil, who's also from Family Boards here. And he was able to report on this over here if you want to actually see the full source of it. So the Switch 2 is slated for March 2025 still. Nothing has changed since his original report. Expect announcement to pan out similar to Switch 1, September, November for full reveal, etc. And, you know, I personally expect this September. We're going to get a September Direct, and it'll probably show us what we're going to be getting for the hardware. I don't expect any games to be shown off on day one. I think September will be a Switch 2 hardware only Direct. We are getting a new Nintendo Direct in June, but that is only going to be Switch 1 games that are releasing from June till the end of December of 2024. So I won't expect any Switch 2 games, maybe until we get to a November or maybe even like January, February of 2025. Third parties should be allowed to mention Switch 2 multi-platform releases from June on, even without showing it, since Nintendo is now openly talking about it. Games announced for 2025, they confirm PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch successor. Okay, which is actually interesting, which makes sense. We did get the official tweet from the Nintendo president that the Switch successor is coming. And, you know, when he said Switch successor, also that word is, you know, very loaded in the sense that it's not going to be a big hardware evolution. I would expect the Switch 2 to look very similar to the Switch 1. Direct in June is the last proper Switch 1 Direct, but there's rumors about a partner Direct later in the year. Nintendo will announce more remasters in the Direct. He expected Metroid Prime 4 to be the last big reveal for Switch 1 and release this year, but he doesn't know, and it's just speculation on his part. So this is more like a hopeful message of Metroid Prime 4 being the last Switch 1 release. It was announced for Switch 1 like a million years ago. Hopefully it actually happens, but I am a believer still. He expects more leaks to come out now that the successor has been mentioned. And, you know, I am expecting more leaks to come. I mean, they're leaking left and right. I mean, the Centro stuff that we covered, or the Famicom stuff, was a newer leak compared to that other leak I just mentioned. So the floodgates are open. Everything's coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a full-on picture of this console by sometime mid-summer before the Nintendo Direct with how the leaks are going. But I'm very excited for the Switch 2. I think this console is sort of living up to the hype. I don't see any negativity about it right now, which is very good. I think we should all be pretty positive about this. And the thing I'm most excited about right now is the 256 gigs, all right? Because it is just nice that I don't have to have an SD card on day one. Even though I do have one, not everyone's going to have one, which is very nice. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.